Hey, loves, how are you? Today we're going to do a divine masculine support message. There's been a ton coming through. I was set to share some messages with you, and it's just not panning out because I was told that things are moving so quickly right now that I'm just to allow the energies to flow through the cards so that I know what are the best messages to share with you. With that said, I want to let you know real quick, I'm going to be away next week. So you're also going to see that I've been setting up some premiere videos for next week. And I'm excited for that because I wanted to get you some support and something to sink your teeth into while I'm gone. I'm going to try to be in the comments live with you when those are rolling out. So I hope you'll join me with those. The first one's around keys and codes and how we exchange energy and what it really means when we're talking about keys and codes that we all carry. I also dive in a bit around the soul merge that divine counterparts experience. And I may do a part two going a bit deeper into that soul merge experience. If you guys think you would like more information on that, let me know in the comments. Okay. So now we're just going to really dive into what I've been picking up on with the masculines. And this has been through actual conversations with masculines and also within sessions. And there is a lot happening very, very quickly. There is some energies clearing around divine masculine's castration. And that came through more so around the energetic castration in the places or spaces where divine masculine has been cut off from his own power and or where his own power and energies were diverted or siphoned from other places and spaces, mostly in ways that he was not aware. And this actually goes back to birth, but also back to ancient oaths that are coming into completion. So some of this goes back to the ancient core soul wounds on the planet. So the masculines are working very, very deep within these energies. And I know a lot of you guys ask me, like, are the masculines aware that they're doing this? And I will say to you, yes, that some of them are very aware, and some of them are not necessarily aware on all of the multiple dimensions or timelines or levels that they're working, but their higher self is handling that. So they're doing it in the way that they have time to focus on given their lives and how busy they are. So it's unique and different for each and every one of them. But the important part to know is that at a soul level, their higher selves are guiding and supporting them with completing their missions, their contracts, their oaths, and restoring and returning their true core soul essence back to them as well as they're going through their own levels of transformation. Okay. Again, I've talked many times about how it's going to look different from the feminines because they have a different perspective, a different vision, and a different mission, even though it coincides and meets up and syncs up with divine feminine's mission. They have their own unique pieces to this puzzle for very specific reasons that we don't always get to be privy to as feminines, the same way they're not privy to everything that the feminines are going through. Okay. So we're going to dive a bit into this and see what the masculines would like us to know, what they would like to share, and or if they're needing any supports that I'm capable of sharing, I would like to do that here today. And again, as always, watch this for yourself, feminine or masculine, and or any others in your life. Okay, so this card flipped out and it's deep, quiet meditation and stillness. So this is immediately speaking to me about the subconscious fields within the masculines. Now, the feminines are generally energetically or our feminine aspects, no matter how we identify as our like conscious awareness energies. And the divine masculine energies are the subconscious fields where we may not be fully aware, even though many of us are really learning how to navigate these subconscious fields like subconscious surfers, um, in a very beautiful way. What's happening is as we're doing this subconscious energetic work, it's allowing things to wake up, so to speak. And in this sideways position, it's speaking to me in multiple layers. One, it's speaking to me that in the meditation and the stillness, lots of information and energetic exchange is happening. It's also coming to me that the masculines are becoming more and more aware of some of these energies and information that was more frozen or hidden or suppressed within the subconscious fields. It's beginning to thaw out and wake up and come online in many new ways. If there's some masculines here, I would love to hear from you. Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Does this make sense to you? And or do you have any feedback for us? Okay. So it definitely feels like there's lots that's turning on and they're showing me like inner light bulb moments. The masculines always had this energy, this intuition, this knowledge, this power inside of them. It's always been there. It was just dormant and quiet because they were focused on other things, like I've said, because that's what they were supposed to be focused on at those times. But now this is the equivalent of walking into a mansion that's been, say, dormant and abandoned for years. And now you're walking in and turning on all the lights and peeking under the furniture covers and things like that. Okay. So as it's opening up and coming online, it takes time to start unpacking what's in that information in the subconscious. But also, as any of you here with me know, it also takes some time to learn how to navigate and work with all of the stuff that's in there, right? The emotions, the memories, the suppression, the dissociation, the ancestral information, the past life information. So it's also coming to me as the feminines have been working in those fields on their end. We've also been supporting this thawing and clearing up. So that will support the masculines in being able to do their part, right? Because this kind of goes into another part that's been coming up. I've been being shown that the masculines are completing out ancient oaths. Okay. So this is something I believe that the feminines have been working on as well. So roll with this and see how this resonates. The masculines were the ones who acknowledged it and are bringing it through. Okay. I was being shown that there are ancient oaths that we made as individuals and as a collective back to that core soul wound and throughout lifetimes where we made oaths and promises that we were going to come back and help to restore the planet back to its original pristine energy, i.e., what most of us, if not all of us, are here doing, working through those layers to restore that back. But here's a couple layers to it. One, we've changed a lot and we've grown a lot. So, yes, we can go restore the energies, but we're also integrating it with all of the information that we've had over centuries. Okay. So, that job kind of doubled in hindsight. Okay. Number two, we're also realizing that many of us took on these oaths and these agreements in a way that we felt like we were supposed to come back as an individual and do all of it for lots and lots of people. Okay. And it's part of that like hero's journey energy that inspired us and awoke us to want to work in these energies and to want to get better and to want to make ourselves and our lives better and to help people and to be of service, which is all beautiful. But this is about those places and spaces where those oaths came out of balance and out of alignment and out of harmony over the times, over the centuries, over the lives. Many of us took on oaths that were just keeping us looping and stuck because they weren't oaths we could ever actually energetically complete. And I'll tell you, it's because we cannot take on responsibilities and complete other people's responsibilities for them. You may be capable of doing the work. You may be able to move mountains, but if that mountain is not yours to move, no matter how much energy you spend trying to move it, it's not going to work, loves. So either the person who's meant to move that has to do their part, or the group that's collectively agreed to do it together has to do their part, okay? As a collective, which if we look at it in that terms, at the end of the day, all we can do is be responsible for our part and then also be willing to unite and work with others for the greater good, for the bigger cause. But no one person or even a group of 2 or 3 can go ahead and move a whole collective energy pattern for those who also have the responsibility to do their part, okay? So, are we moving tremendous amounts? Absolutely. Is there still a lot of density and things that we're seeing on the planet? Absolutely. So the best thing that we can do is to complete our part of the oath and then let the rest go. Put it aside, know that it's there, let it simmer. And if there's more to do with other people, but they're not showing up, you can set the intention that, okay, I'll complete the next parts when the rest of us get here. I can only do my part. So while that's simmering on the back burner, I'm going to go work on building my new foundation, right? And you may find that it weaves in and out, but you don't have to stay stuck in that old contract because 20 other people that were supposed to meet you there didn't arrive yet. Okay. You're not to hold yourself back waiting for everyone else. No waiting energy for anyone. Your job is to unravel yourself out of the density and free yourself to move into your sovereignty. You're not skirting your responsibility or ignoring your oath. You are being responsible for your part and your part only because, in truth, that's the only part you're capable of doing right now. If you have more capability and energy to dive into, then do it in all of the other areas of your life. Okay. No more energetic castration. No more holding yourselves back in these oaths that are not moving because some other people aren't ready to move them. You do your part and keep moving forward, okay? You're going to know when it's time to go back to it. And in some instances, your part is done. So you may not even have to revisit it. There's lots of different scenarios, but the bottom line is that you're going to know. Your job is to free yourself from those old energies and align with your higher true core soul essence and purpose as much as possible. Okay. So this is happening within both collectives, the divine masculine and divine feminine, and beyond. Okay. This is the planetary collective, but I speak about it from the perspectives of the masculine and feminine because those are the collectives I work with. It's a deep way that I have been trained to understand these energies. And so that's how I speak about them. Okay. And there you have it. Lots is waking up in the subconscious fields, especially of the masculines. So, feminines, you may find that more and more is also coming up for you because as a collective, as a general overall collective, we're able to handle a lot more. We're dissociating less, we're thawing out more, we're inviting our higher self energies in. And this is what is creating these bigger overall shifts. Okay. But it's because we are each individually being responsible for our part and then also learning to be of service in a way that is productive. As you guys know, here on the channel, I'm supporting you, but I'm supporting you to find your own way and your own truth. Even in my sessions, it's based around your highest self coming through and what is going to be the most supportive for you. Because, yes, I have perspectives, but at the end of the day, you have your own unique subconscious, your own unique path. So, this is about that self discovery and allowing those hearts to thaw. One, both the old hurts and pains, as we clear those out, but also the beautiful, gorgeous internal gifts that have been living dormant inside of you all along. So thank you, masculines. What else would the masculines like to share? Stranger and curiosity. Okay. This is speaking to me about another part that the masculines have been showing me. And there is a significant amount of activation and thawing out happening in the root and the sacral, and it's being mirrored in the third eye and the crown. Okay. So there is a lot of activation happening in the extremes. And yes, it's going to take place throughout the entire system, but it's coming through that there is a very specific and deep connection within the chakras being awakened between the root and the crown, and then between the third eye and the sacral chakra. And it is activating where the masculines embody into physicality and where their intuition and their higher power had been cut off or diminished or went dormant. As that's waking up, as the subconscious is waking up, and more of their energy is coming back online, awakening within them in those subconscious fields, it's actually allowing more and more of their true core soul essence and life force to be restored into the roots, into the sacral. And what I'm hearing is that there is a restoration of divine masculine's true core soul, sovereign, sacred sexuality, his true core soul power, and his true heart, his true voice, his true intuition. And it's activating all of the masculine's abilities. I want to tell you how powerful I believe and how important this part is. And I want you to work on it in your own internal energies, even if you're a feminine. But for the masculines, I think this is very, very, very important. And it's very important for all of us, but it's very important to invite all of your energy and all of your power into every single cell of your body, into your feet, into your toes, into your legs, into your hips, into your genitals, into your belly, into your heart, into your lungs, your arms, your throat, your neck, your head, your brain. And I'm going to get specific around this, especially into the root and the sacral, into the genitals, because I was shown an image that the masculines have actually never fully had the space to fully embody all the way into their body. And it is part of why there is that want to always ground, and that drive for the sexual connection is in part, it's because it's a grounding exercise. Now, continue to have sex and connection as much as you want, by all means. But what I'm saying is also individually is you're harnessing your own power and your own energy and your own life force, pulling it all the way into every single part of your body, all the way into the tip, all the way into the foreskin, the roots, the every single part of it. Okay. Bringing your full energy and essence into your body, actually in a state of retaining, not during an actual act of sexual release, but actually getting into your body fully energetically. Because what I was shown is that the masculines, most of them, have not ever actually fully embodied and maintained that full embodiment and power for themselves because they weren't taught how to. Also, all the trauma in the lower chakras wasn't allowing them to fully get into the body. So, as that is being thawed, unraveled, dissolved, and released, it is making space for the masculines to fully embody in their full essence and power. This is also important because the masculines have been targeted in their creation and sexual energy as a major distraction: sex, gambling, food, drugs. All of those types of things have been causing and creating and distracting the masculines away from their truth and numbing out the loss that they have felt of their own essence. Okay, so this is about masculines restoring to their true power. And I found this confirmation mind blowing. I went and started looking up pictures of divine masculine on the internet. And every picture that I saw with the masculine energies coming into their body, all the pictures were the upper half of the body only. In the few that I found where a masculine was actually embodied into his legs, the light would stop above the hips and the legs were dark. And I felt like that was so incredibly significant. I'm actually going to work on a painting or a drawing to have a fully embodied masculine bringing his light and his power and his truth into his legs, into his feet, and fully grounded onto the earth. But it feels so incredibly important that you're inviting all of your masculine essence fully into your body and fully onto this planet, because masculines have been shamed for being masculine. And we're ready to truly, fully restore true, beautiful, sacred masculine energies and essences onto this planet. So allow yourself to unravel out of the guilt and the shame and the blame, and also acknowledge where you have been siphoned from and abused and distracted and disrespected, because there is a lot more going on there. It is more to the story. This is not about getting into the victim consciousness, but it feels very, very, very important to acknowledge this. Yes, we have to be responsible for the things that we've done, but you can't know what you don't know till you know it. So if you're learning, forgive yourself and embody. But I'm going to also state this because in our society, it hasn't been safe for masculines to acknowledge that they've been abused, that they've been disrespected, that they have been targeted significantly. And I'm going to keep it all the way real. They have been targeted as deeply as the feminines. And in some cases, in my opinion, it's been harder because we as a society in general have been taught to freeze out and not. It's like, as I'm speaking it, I can feel where the whole collective has been taught to dissociate from that. This is not to bring it up in a painful way. It's to acknowledge it and that it exists so we can move it. And so that divine masculine, sacred masculine essences can be completely restored on this planet and within the physical vessels of the masculines and in the internal masculines for all of us. This is exceedingly important. Maybe one of the most important messages I've ever done. And I think I'm going to put that in the title. So it feels very, very important right here and right now. I would like to ask to invite all of our highest selves and our internal masculine and feminine to come into inner union and into our highest harmony as we invite our sacred masculine essences the opportunity to completely come home to earth, to completely come home to his body, to completely come home to his heart, to his truth, to his voice, to his intuition, to his higher knowing, to his own direct connection to source, to Mother Earth, to reestablish all of who he is. This is something I really want to work with for those of you who feel guided. So if you want to go deeper into this with me in a one-on-one session, just do the 1 hour coaching session and we'll dive into this. For those that worked with me in session this week to support these energies and messages coming through to help ground them in. Thank you so, so very much for your service and for your kindness with sharing those energies. I want to pull in one final support message for the masculines from the True Love deck. Let's see what comes through. Wow. Wow. This is the distorted masculine card came out. I've never picked this card. So it's coming through that I'm going to read out of the book. But out of the gate, it's coming through that this is exactly what we're clearing. We're holding space to unravel and dissolve the distorted masculine energies on the planet, internally and externally. But it feels very, very important to not project or blame. Okay. Because as these are coming up and as they're opening up in the subconscious fields, it's going to look a little dusty for a while, like this. You see what I'm saying? But you see that sun is shining through. So the divine masculine, sacred masculine essences are strengthening, they are ramping up. And that is why this energy and these messages are coming through so divinely strong today. Okay. And I am going to read from this book because I do feel like there's going to be some specific special messages. Be aware of where the distorted masculine may be showing up in your life. Let it go with love and live a fully blessed life in the now. The distorted masculine is here for all of us to see every day of our lives. It is characterized by an unwillingness to trust, tending to ignore emotions and intuition, wanting proof of everything and insisting on a logical or rational approach. Part of the mode we all grew up with to a greater or lesser extent. This old paradigm is now becoming obsolete. And I feel like this is what's opening up for the masculine. It's not about getting rid of logic or all of those things, but it's about bringing in the other side of who they are. Okay. All of us. I said, we've been in the more distorted masculine energies on our planet. At first, we may still believe that the distorted masculine owns and runs this world. But if we look closer, we can see that his refusal to acknowledge and support the divine feminine is causing him to wither and die. We have all created the society we live in today, irrespective of our gender. How long the distorted masculine continues to exert his power is up to each and every one of us. I love how spirit works, loves. I can't. The distorted masculine loves bureaucracy, power for the sake of it, and separateness rather than togetherness. He tends to work within a win-lose dynamic where there can only be one winner, one first prize. Taking advantage and taking whatever is available are seen as business as usual in that mode. So naturally, we see a lot of distorted masculine in the corporate environment and in the damage done to our forests and oceans. It's tempting to feel helpless in the face of such an intense force. But this dragon has a soft underbelly because without the feminine forces to feed him, he cannot survive. You have drawn this card today because the distorted masculine is still influencing your life. You live by your clock and your diary, push everything aside until your work is done. You ignore your intuition or the messages from your body urging you to rest and relax. Are you afraid to feel your emotions for fear of being overwhelmed or appearing weak? Your angels and spirit guides want you to know that time is now to bring this imbalance to your conscious awareness. Acknowledge it, bless it for what it's taught you, and let it go. It's time to live in and for the present without this influence. So energetically, it feels like this is something we can all explore to some degree, even if we've been doing this work deeply. Clearly, it's coming up in the collective energies, and thinking on it, it makes perfect sense. I'm not really watching the news, but I kind of became privy to some things going on. And so it's very clear that these are the energies that are coming up to the surface. So as we do our parts internally to work on our own energies in our subconscious fields and in our day-to-day life, we're supporting it within our energetics, and that supports it for the overall collective. So as we support the divine masculine and sacred masculine essence being restored to the planet, we're also holding space to allow the distorted masculine essences to dissolve and allowing that true sun to shine for us all. All right, loves, this is beautiful. I'm actually really quite pleased with how that all came together. And I'm looking forward to seeing you a few more times before I go. But in the meantime, I will see you soon. All right. Love you. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. There's a lot processing for me right now, if you couldn't tell. All right, loves. Have a good day. Love you. Bye.